Hello, welcome back to my channel. If you haven't been here before, I'm Jamie. I read a ton of books, and this is my TBR for the first probably 2 weeks of April. April does have Dewey's Readathon in it, the 26th and 27th of April. So the closer we get to that, the more distracted I'm going to be. Probably the more audiobooks I'm going to do. And once we hit that weekend, thankfully it's at the end of the month, I will be a vegetable the day after, more or less. I think I do have things I have to do later on the 26th, maybe. Maybe not. I think I might have been kind to myself this time. Anyway, I'm the lead admin for Dewey's, so I tend to do all 24 hours. And that's fun. So, in the meantime, though, this is the lead up. There's not really any activities this time. I'll probably do just reading sprints that I announce on our various sites. I've been doing long laps, which long laps are like sprints, and we're taking track and field terms and applying them to reading. So a long lap is just seeing how many books or how many pages or whatever you're counting you can finish within a week or whatever the dates are for that lap. So I'll probably do that. And I'm pretty sure on Facebook we'll have some prompts and stuff to get everybody warmed up. But I've noticed that most people don't really do most of the warm-up stuff, so we're just gonna play it by ear this year. So in the meantime, the books. Oh my goodness. April is two things from my TBR. It is People April and Old School April. I'm on Team Scoobies because I wanted to join the team with one of my friends as a co-host. So I did. For some reason I actually don't know most of the people that are co-hosts for Old School April this time. So that made it really easy. Unlike some of the other readathon events so far this year. So I'm branching out into new social circles. So we'll see how that goes. And actually Old School April doesn't change your TBR unless you really want it to. I am going to try and incorporate some murder mysteries that have retro vibes or are from previous decades. In keeping with the vibe of Old School April. But I'm not being too picky about dates for it. So first book on my TBR for this 2 weeks is Death and the Dutch Uncle by Patricia Moyes. This one's from 1968. So this one actually is from a previous decade, vintage. And I'm guessing it involves tulips, Dutch uncle and the death's head and a tulip. The other book I picked for a murder mystery for this part of my TBR, I don't know much about it, but it has kind of what I thought of as retro-y sort of cover design. This is Murder on the Salsette by Edward Marston, best-selling author of the Railway Detective series. And let's see, it is from 2005, so it's not actually all that old. But it gave me the right kind of vibes for right now, and that's all I really care about for this, because it's not really for a prompt or anything. They're just, so that I'm not just reading memoirs, biographies, and history books all the next 2 weeks. Not that I will, but I do actually have one more fiction book that I have to read in April. This is Knut Hamsun, Growth of the Soil. This is the book that I get special points for the Reading 1001 TBR takedown game for April. I have not looked yet to see what the nonfiction books are that I attached to that same number picking system, because I put my notebook someplace safe. And now I don't know where that safe place is. So I will be looking for that. And I have enough books, I'm not going to worry about it until I at least finish some of these books. But hopefully by the next update video, I will have found my notebook so I know which other books I've added to my active nonfiction TBR. Yeah. I will also hopefully know where that someplace safe is in case anything else has been put away there. I didn't realize I had that many safe places that are not obvious. Anyway, so I have a few books that are from the history department at the bookstore that we've been trying to read books and write little blurbs about them to get them moving. I have a few that there are multiple copies of. This is one that we get a lot of copies of it. This is Barack Obama, Dreams from My Father, which is totally a People April book. So this one, I don't know how many copies we have right now, but if I read one, I can at least blurb something about it. Basically write a little, here's what this book is about, and attach it to the front of the cover, so that then people can see whether that's of interest to them. And for books like this where we have a lot of copies, it means that I can be reading this one while the other ones are still at the store. And maybe they'll get bought anyway. In the meantime, once this one has the blurb on it, it will pertain to those other copies too. We've done this with other books where there was only one copy, which is great, but as soon as that copy sells, the blurb doesn't help until you get another copy. Anyway, so this book I'm hoping to have done in the first week so I can take it back to the store because I've had it for a little while. I just haven't been inspired towards it. I brought it home because it was a yellow cover, and it was the end of February when I brought it home. So I was in a readathon team that the yellow cover was extra points for, which is no longer the case. Anyway, yes. This book I've been working on. I'm getting closer to done, but not really. Civil Wars by David Armitage. This one is actually really good. And we actually had another copy of it. I don't remember seeing it last time I was tidying the shelves. So we may have sold it. But we had to. And this one's really good, so I will be recommending it when I take it back. It's what it says. It's a history of civil wars. How they start, how they, proceed, and what starts them, why, who actually is at war with whom, all that kind of stuff. So, since I have this one, and I'm probably going to finish it in the first week, we're going to try. We had this book come in this last week that seems to be right along the same lines. How Civil Wars Start by Barbara Walter. So, if I read this one against that one, I can do compare and contrast more, which is fun. And we got a lot of books in all at once, so we didn't have space for everything this time. Yeah. So I may get to this one in the second week of April. We'll see. It depends on what I'm feeling by the time I finish the other one. But Civil Wars are obviously a theme right now. I found the audiobook for this one through the library. So I'm definitely doing that. The title is They Thought They Were Free, The Germans, 1933 to 1945 by Milton Mayer. And it sounds compelling. So I may or may not immersion read it. It depends on what I'm doing when I start the audiobook, whether I will be, following along in the book or just listening to it. But I have the option. All right. This one I started last month. I did not get very far in it before I got really bogged down. The Ministry of Time by Kellyanne Bradley. This one is the other Women's Prize book that I had that I was going to try and finish, and I just didn't. And it's not even on the short list, so... But it's been something people have talked about in the past, and it is supposed to be kind of sci-fi, so... But I haven't gotten even far enough in to know if that's the case, really. So I'll probably restart it, because obviously I didn't retain much of it yet. I'd like to be done, though, with it, so that at least I've actually finished half of the Women's Prize long list. So, yeah. This one's one I started. I'm about halfway through. I just didn't finish it in March. This is And Then All Hell Broke Loose by Richard Engel, 2 Decades in the Middle East. This one is in that sort of subgenre of journalists' memoirs, where it's about war reporters' experiences doing their job. And there's several other books that are really good that are like this by people that tend to travel to where the bad things are happening to report on them and beam pictures back into our TVs. So I've read a few in this genre, but I have not read anything by Engel yet. So far it's really good, but I'm not far enough into it yet to know if it's a 4-star or a 5-star, but somewhere in there. You guys don't get to fall over. Do not fall over. Thank you. Okay. And one other book that I got from the history department is Our Revolution by Bernie Sanders. Because, again, we had enough books that our shelves were already full. And Sanders and AOC have been touring and doing all these speeches and everything. And I wanted to see if Sanders' platform in this book is similar to what he and AOC are talking about now. So I will read it and find out. And the verdict will partly determine which shelf we put it on when it goes back to the store. Because I have a special shelf for current events. I'm just not sure if this is current enough or if this is like previous regime current. So, find out. Then in this stack, I have 2 books that are for kind of reading books that were nominated for prizes. So I have The History of the Kelly Gang by Peter Carey, a winner of the Booker Prize, according to the shiny sticker. This one is also on the Guardian 1000 novels you should read list, or Guardian 1000 novels. Anyway, I don't remember what the title was. And then this one is a National Book Award finalist, Great House by Nicole Krauss. And I know this book also is nominated for other awards. I think it might be Dublin Literary Award that I remember it from, but it may be on other prize list nomination or long lists as well. And then I have a bunch of People April oriented books. This one I got yesterday. This is Six Medieval Men and Women by H.S. Bennett. I have My Childhood by Gorky. The Autobiography of Michel de Montaigne by Marvin Lowenthal. And yes, the lettering has been redrawn in by hand using a ballpoint pen. So this one, I think my sister did that. I don't remember. But we've had it for a while. I just haven't read it. Sacred Honor, Colin Powell, the inside account of his life and triumphs by David Roth. Russian Journal by Andrea Lee. This one is actually not a People April book. It's a list of books that my sister gave me that I was supposed to be reading. Book. Although it is a book with a person's name as the title, so I would stretch People April to include it. Not knowing anything about it, though, I have no idea how well it fits. But Isabel Allende Paula. Then I have more People April stuff. Lost on Planet China by someone whose name is covered up by a sticker. By J. Martin Troost. And then we have Making Malcolm, The Myth and Meaning of Malcolm X by Michael Eric Dyson. A Month and a Day, A Detention Diary by Ken Saro-Wiwa. And this dude is from Nigeria. We have The Butterfly's Way, Voices from the Haitian Diaspora in the United States, edited by Edwige Danticat. I love the cover on that. It's very pretty. And Beauty in the Breaking, memoir by Michelle Harper. And I am resisting the urge to add more books. So that is the TBR. Plus any audiobooks that I get to. And I am already in kind of 2 audiobooks. I've been listening to the second book in the Stormlight Archive series by Brandon Sanderson, part of my reread of the series leading into doing book 5. So that one I'm about maybe a quarter of the way through so far. But it's a reread. I'm just spacing it out for more fun. And then I'm doing The Mighty Red by Louise Erdrich. And that one is from the BookTube Prize long list, basically. So that's part of my project to finish all the ones I have access to. I don't know how many of the audiobooks I'm going to try and get to in the next 2 weeks, because it totally depends on what I need to do, where I can do the things I need to do with an audiobook going on. So all of this is subject to time constraints and everything else. But should be exciting. And do you guys want to see my blanket that's almost done? Yes, of course. Let me grab that. All right. So I also have had this rule that I'm going to finish a few big projects before I start a new project. This is the start of the new Crochet Crowd Crochet Along, which obviously has been started, even though the previous one, well, this isn't even the previous Crochet Along. This is just one of the ones that wasn't done yet. But it's not done yet. And yet I started a new blanket. I know, it's terrible. But I wanted to get started, so I did. This, though, is the blanket that I'm working on finishing. That is what I've been working on. Get better colors closer to the light. And the colors are inspired by kente cloth. So the traditional African woven cloth from sort of the Gold Coast region of Africa. Yeah, so it's a little different colors from what I normally do, but I had all the colors and I had them all piled up together. I was like, that looks like kente cloth. So then I had to do this blanket. Hopefully this blanket will be done soon. I have maybe 3 more pattern rows and then the border to do. So not a lot of rows, but each row is longer because it's a center start. So by the time it gets to the size it is now, the rounds are really big. Yeah. So I get bored and then I do things like accidentally start a new blanket. Right. So hopefully this will be done by the next update. And I'm hoping to be able to show you that it is done by the next update. There we go. Accountability. It works. Maybe. Yeah. So, what are you reading for April? Have you read any of the books that I've showed off in my TBR so far? And the burning question every inquiring mind wants to know, are you doing Deweys? The 26th and 27th of April this month. I will put links in the description, possibly tonight, possibly tomorrow, but they will be in the description probably before a lot of people see this video. For Deweys and People April and Old School April, you do need to sign up for Old School April if you're going to join that so that you can join a team and the points can be calculated fairly. And for People April, you can just read, memoirs, biographies, etc. I will share the announcement video for that one. And that should have live Discord links associated with it. Because for that one, in order to get involved with the conversations, you mostly need to join the Discord. It is not my event. Neither one of them is. So I'm just a participant. But they're fun. I did both last year and enjoyed them. So I was looking forward to them this year. Yeah, and I'm going to try to actually do an update video at least once every 2 weeks. I would like to do an update video every week. The way I used to do back when I was doing it like the 7th and then the 14th, and then that's what I want to be doing. Will it happen? We'll see. But my birthday starts the year over for me, so new year, new me. Maybe I can start a new habit of actually doing videos once a week to update my reading. We'll see. So hopefully you will see me. Let's see, it's officially the 3rd by a couple hours. So in about 4 days. See how many books I finished by then. And maybe show off my cups, the mugs I've done so far. Something like that, just something fun. But certainly within the next 2 weeks, possibly in 4 days. I will see you again. Happy reading, everyone. And I will catch you in the next video. Bye!